Spirit has chosen the Four Corners spread for your general monthly reading, which lays a nice, diverse groundwork where we will be looking into the four main areas of interest that people commonly ask about in tarot: the work corner, the financial money corner, the health corner, and the ever-popular love corner. We are going to take a stroll through all four to see what Spirit wants to discuss about your month. And that is what we're going to do today. Welcome in, Taurus, to your Four Corners spread for February 2024. We're going to dive right in here, guys. I'm going to save your financial and your work corner for last. Those are both huge, large, major arcana-based themes, so we want to make sure we give those enough time. So let's get into health and then love first. First of all, health. Health is an interesting one because they're talking about not about you here at all. In fact, they decided to use Taurus health opportunity to talk about somebody else's health that is very much attached to you. Maybe for just a small part of my audience, but if Spirit sees that you can make a difference here, they're going to use this opportunity to help somebody else out, and that is what they did here. So the good news is that Taurus health, I don't think we have much to talk about here at all, or else Spirit would have presented this in a very different way. And since they did not, this is what's important. This other person whose health is being affected in a negative way is a male. I have that with double kings. That lets me know that we're for sure talking about a person here. And this, even if you are a male viewing this reading, they're still not talking about you because they just would have given me my next card, which would be the energy of what this person is doing. So since they gave us a person here that happens to be a male, this lets me know that they're not talking about you. They're talking about somebody else that is closely attached to you who is not doing so well with health. Keep in mind, health is a broad spectrum because it's not just your physical health. That's usually what we talk about here. But this can also be emotional health. This can also be mental health, emotional health. We already said that one. Spiritual health. So any of the bit here that this person here that is in a lot of your lives here, we can improve. And here's what they're doing. They show that this person is really looking at the downside of things, looking at either what they've lost or the health they don't have, the way that things are going bad, and they're on a victim mentality or a downward trajectory. They're not looking at this from a good perspective whatsoever. So this is where Spirit jumps in here and says, Taurus, here's your chance. You can really help make a big difference in this person's life by getting them to just, from my side of the table, flip this card around. Very easy to do from my side of the table. From your side, a little difficult. But it doesn't mean you should not try, because basically all they have to do is look right behind them. Look at all the rewards they still have. We're going to be talking about rewards a little bit more when it comes to finance. But as this is concerned, we just got to get them to change their outlook on things. They got to brighten up a little bit. So whatever you can do to implement that change for them is going to be a huge push for Taurus in the month of February. Your health, though, must be good. Let's get up into love, guys. Love is a very short and sweet corner here. They bring in a message regarding love that is money being used in this corner, and it's going to be used early in February. I don't know if you guys are already doing that or will soon plan to do that, but it's a money message that is coming in very early in the month. So it has to do with some kind of financial notification. Maybe it's not even money being spent. Maybe it's money being planned, utilized, getting organized for certain things, but it happens early in February. That's the key. And they want you to do this because this is a growth type of deal. They're reminding you, though, Taurus, that this is going to be slow. Sometimes growth is slow, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that whatsoever. Sometimes the good things in life take time, and that's what they show here in the love corner. So the money being put here, since they're really talking all about finances here in your love corner, this means that it affects everybody, not just you. This is everybody in your family or your group, your close friends, whoever is involved here. Maybe just your relationship partner. I'm not sure, but it's a big picture. It's not just about you. It is about your loved ones, because they could have just brought this up in the financial corner and talked about your finances. But since they placed this here, it is a pretty big emphasis on the home and the loved ones. So maybe even money being put into the home and different things for everybody's benefit. So there we go. Good love corner for you guys there. Let's get into those big ones for you. I'm trying to see where to start. I think I'm actually going to start financial here. We got a little bit better news on the work side than financial side, because financial, it's not that it's really negative, but it starts with weakness. They're talking about how really you just need to turn this weakness into a strength. They're saying that you do have all the tools, or you are this close to having all the financial tools you needed. So what they're talking about here Comes up next is a bad decision with my Fool card flipped around inverted. This is saying that some of you have made a bad financial decision lately, very recently, or they're trying to get you to avoid one in the month of February. Okay, guys, so this is huge. What is a bad decision financially? Well, some of you would probably know. Going into debt, a bad decision. Any kind of something that that depreciates or you got to pay more on, bad loans, bad interest rates. That kind of stuff, guys. Even, sometimes buying a car, cars depreciate. The value usually goes down. So consider all of this financially because they're talking about some kind of bad decision coming up here, waiting in the wings of possibility. So if you can avoid this, that's your best bet. Hopefully you're not already made that bad decision and we got you on the right path here. Now what they show next is getting over being beaten up financially. So things are going to improve, and this is going to happen maybe later February going into March. I'm not sure exactly the timeline. Everybody's going to hit it a little differently because there are so many Tauruses tuning in. We're sharing that bubble energy with everybody. It's a perfect time for me to remind you that this is a general reading and the messages are general. If you're looking for messages that are personal, private, specific only to you, I offer a wide variety of services, all the way from small, all the way up to full service on my website, scottsagent.com. And those energies are all about you, not all of your Taurus friends. So what they show here is that this hump is being overcome. Things are going to improve here very, very soon. And it's after the bad decision either is made. So hopefully, now you're just recovering from it, or we get you to avoid the bad decision, which is the ideal path. That's really what my job is to get you to do here. And then you're in good shape. Then we start getting into this road to recovery with finances. And they bring up Treasure Island next, which is a nice little treasure chest. It's riding on the back of a nice little elegant sea turtle. So just a beautiful little reward waiting for you guys once you guys get there. So they're saying, it's a journey. We'll talk more about that with your runestone, but it is a process and you guys will have to overcome, one more little notch here before things start getting in a really nice good upswing here. So it is coming. And that is also your, dangling of the carrot, the light at the end of the tunnel, the kind of incentive for you to keep going and get through this. Don't make that bad decision. Don't lead into temptation, even though that new car looks pretty or whatever it is that they're talking about here for you. Let's go up into that work corner, guys. We have an excellent work corner. I don't think we could really drop a better one than this. This is pretty good all around. They start with the World card, which is a card about fulfillment. It can be a card about world travel, but for most of you, that has nothing to do with work, right? Work corner being a big place too, it is not just working the job. For a lot of people, it is that simple, but for everybody else, there's different people doing different things. We got entrepreneurship, we got going back to college, we got learning new things, hobbies and interests. So it's learning new things. Work corner is a big place. So whatever you got going on there is what they're talking about completion with. We're like checking off boxes. We're getting things done in this work corner. It is a good time to do that, to check boxes off the list. What are your goals? What are you trying to accomplish? They show a lot of you are actually doing something here with new business or new work. Maybe it has to do with a new job, a new department, a new path, maybe a different career path in general. I'm not sure, but it is an excellent time for you guys to do anything with work. So anything you're trying to do to improve your work corner, 2 thumbs up here from Spirit and me. It is looking good here, guys. They show a lot of you actually are learning new things here too. So that's like going back to school in some capacity or getting accredited for something, taking classes to learn a new skill. All that comes up as information being presented to you at your disposal. Very nice. They show blessed with my Oracle Angel card, which is just saying you guys are you got it good here. This is an excellent month. You guys should show the gratitude, be appreciative of it because, not all these corners are always this wonderful. So you want to, use this momentum to your highest tippy top benefit. Very nice. We wrap up with your runestone, guys. The runestone is journey. We talked about journey with your financial corner and that it is a journey. Well, we talked about it wrapping up with the treasure, but also the journey with the finances with the home. So you can see journey kind of through a couple of your different corners here. So they're letting you know not to bound yourself down to the immediate outcome, that quick, relief. It's not always going to come. Sometimes things do take time. And the journey is to remember that it is a process. It is not a quick situation that is going to get resolved very quickly, but it's okay because you're supposed to enjoy the journey. not worry about the destination. So we're going to get into some very important moon cycles right now because we have a super new moon in the month of February. It is actually the best time to bring new things in, guys. Anything you're trying to add to your life, pay attention to that new moon right here. Okay guys, it is moon cycles forecast time. Let's talk about these lunar energies that are all around us anyways, so we can use it to our benefit, implement some positive change into your month. Well, the first thing you need to understand is whether these energies are coming in or going out. Just like the tides, the moon has control of that. In the same way, you can use it too. The first thing that hits chronologically this month is the new moon. You're going to see all the text information on your screen, any rare occurrences, as well as the date. Now, this is a target date for the new moon. It doesn't have to be done on this date, guys. I really like to bracket a few days before and a few days after to get a very powerful week where you can bring new things into your life and really manifest. If it is NEW, it's not there before, brand new, this is the best time to bring it into your life. Something new financially, maybe something new with work, new love, new health. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's new, this is the best time of the month to work on these things, really help bring it in. Adversely, the full moon, the opposite energy, the energy going out, hits on this date on your screen. And of course, the same rules apply. It doesn't have to be done on this date. We're talking about a week window, a few days on each side of it here. When this energy is very strong going out, and the energy going out is the best time to get things out of your life that don't belong there or that you don't want there, something that's got control of you or a hold of you that you don't want. Maybe something like a bad habit, maybe emotional baggage, a bill that's got to go. That would be something financially, maybe something with health, maybe an eating habit that's got to go. It doesn't matter if it's got to go. The full moon is your best bet to get this change to stick. If any of this has confused you, I've put together a moon cycle cheat sheet. I do it every single month. It is free. It is on the website, guys. You can check it out very easily. It is a little graphic illustration, a tool that you can use so you can kind of see these changes moving in and moving out, so you can align things in your month to it to really get them to stick, implement some great positive changes. Now let's get into your homily. Hello friends, and welcome into your homily, February 2024 edition. My name is Scott Sagent, and the name of this homily this month is Don't Let It Rain on Your Parade. We're going to be talking about managing expectations here, good expectations that we might be too high on, expecting too much from, bad things, expecting bad days, and how we can get way too low on that, finding a nice middle ground here. The first and very most important thing to start with is that us, as human beings, we are just prediction machines. Our mind is computing and processing a whole bunch of stimuli every single second of every single day, trying to figure out what's going to happen next so that you can be in the right present moment, making the best decisions for you at that time. So just like if you come up to a stop sign and there's another car, you're trying to figure out, both of you guys are really, who's going to go first, who's going to do what you're trying to figure out what they're going to do so you don't crash into them, right? Same thing if a stranger walks up to you, you're trying to figure out, analyze the heck out of it as quick as you're not even realizing it's happening at this point. It happens automatically, but you're trying to figure out, is this stranger coming up to me? Can they be trusted? Are they a good person? Or are they going to rob me? Okay, so we're doing all these kind of things all the time, all these computations behind the scene. And as a result of all that, we come up with expectations, our version of the future, whether it be a good event or a negative event, doesn't matter. We're creating these expectations all the time about what we expect to happen. But here's the thing, a lot of times these expectations do not happen. Never happens at all. Or maybe they're not as good as we want them to be, or as bad as we would like to avoid. So let's get into a little bit of that. Now, I like to look at this with a frame that I call the 5% rule. So let's take a good example first. Hey, you're going to Disneyland, you're going to a theme park, doesn't matter which one, pretend, okay, you're going to have the best day ever. Your expectations are way up here. You're like, yeah, I'm going to meet these characters. I'm going to get to go on all these rides. I'm going to, live out my childhood dreams and just have a great day all the way up here. That's what you're expecting, okay? And that's fine. Maybe it'll happen. But there's only that 5% rule, the 5% chance that you're going to get to the tippy top of what is actually going to occur. Stuff happens, stuff goes wrong. And if you're up there, that 5%, well, the reality is that you're going to be somewhere in that other 95% range, which is way down here. Okay, so even if it's a good day and it's up here, it's like, well, I didn't get to go on all the rides I wanted to go on. I got to go on half of them, but there's on the other half, and the lines were too long. Or maybe down here it rained all day, they had to shut down some rides. It didn't work out at all for me. That was not what I was expecting at all. So anywhere off of your top tier of what you were expecting before is going to be a letdown. You're going to feel that very deeply in you, like, something is just not really good. Not a good feeling, not a good emotion to have. Now let's look at a negative one. Same rule of fives apply. Hey, you got to go to a dentist appointment. This is going to be one where you're expecting a procedure to happen that is going to be a little painful, a little bit of uncomfortness going on, and you're just not looking forward to it. Okay, so your expectation is like down, down, down here. I'm not sure if I'm off the camera, but I'm pretty low down here. So anyway, the same 5% rule applies, guys. Same 5% rule. It's usually not as bad as you expect it to be, the bad things, okay? You're going to be in that 95% range somewhere else. So, hey, you get this procedure done, and okay, that wasn't as bad as I thought. That didn't hurt as much as I thought it would. Maybe it was an uncomfortable hour and a half. But you know what? Now, that was up here. That wasn't that bad. Now I can feel like that weight is lifted off my shoulder. I got that out of the way, done and checked off my list. So it's the rule of the 5%. Now, what do we do with this information, right? Now, a lot of people say, oh, you just got to eliminate the expectations. Just get rid of them altogether. You don't need them, right? We don't need to have expectations about what's going to happen, whether it be good or bad. Well, that's a utopia. That is just not realistic, since we are human prediction machines. We are always trying to figure stuff out, and without expectations, that would leave us with nothing to ever look forward to. And of course, it's okay to look forward to something. You just got to manage this. So let's talk about how we manage these. Giving those two examples that I gave you earlier, let's go through both of them. The Disney World, having a great time, expectations up to here. Hey, you know what? Let's bring the expectation into middle keel. You know why? Because I expect that I'm going to have fun no matter what happens. Because at the end of the day, it is not what happens to you. It's what you do with what happens to you. It's the decisions you make. So if you go into the day thinking, hey, you know what? I'm going to have the best time possible with whatever situations and circumstances come up. I'm going to make sure that this is a good day. Okay, so you're up here and you're nice and good. That's managing your expectations for the good. Now let's talk about managing the low side. That dentist appointment, that painful procedure, that cavity filling, that root canal, whatever it is. Okay, well, what do we do about this? You tell yourself, hey, you know what? It might not be that bad. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to check it off my list, and I'm going to put it behind me. You're going to attack the day in a much more middle keel. And the likelihood is you're going to hit that 95% either way. So it's all going to work out kind of more in the middle regardless. Nothing is ever as bad as we expect it to be. And usually nothing is ever as good as we expect it to be either. And that's okay, because we're managing expectations. Of course, this doesn't always come naturally to everybody. Sometimes it does take a little bit of practice and implementation to lower these expectations, or at least manage the kind of middle ground, that 95% range of both sides of things. But the rain will come. It always does. The challenges in life will come. Nothing ever works out like we intend it to, whether it be too good or too bad. And the good news is that puts the power back in your corner, because again, it is not what happens to you. It is what you do with what happens to you. You remember that, you'll be in great shape, guys. So that is going to conclude your homily for February 2024. Do not let it rain on your parade, guys. I'm telling you. That's it for me. I hope you've enjoyed the reading. Please remember to like and subscribe so you see the future readings. Have an excellent February. I know you will.
So I guess the fortune teller's right.